Today we're comparing one of my favorite phones, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, to see how it compares to the new S25 Ultra. So let's go ahead and get started. The price on the new S25 Ultra has went up about $100, but keep in mind there's always good trade-in deals and free memory upgrades, so you definitely don't want to pay full price when the new Samsung phones come out, which is probably one of the reasons why a lot of people continue to choose Samsung over some of the competition. You've got the same storage options going from 256 gigabytes up to 1 terabyte. Both versions I have here are 12 gigabytes of RAM with 512 gigabytes of storage. They've got very similar screen sizes and they both use a dynamic AMOLED 2X display, slightly bigger at 6.9 inches for the S25 Ultra versus 6.8 inches on the S23, up to 120 Hz refresh rate for both, and now you have up to 2600 nits peak brightness for the S25 Ultra versus 1750 for the S23, and then slightly different resolution, 1440 by 3120 resolution on the S25 Ultra versus 1440 by 3088 for the S23 Ultra. The displays actually look really good in person on both phones. Weird thing is the older S23 Ultra actually looks a little more vibrant and looks a little better in some situations. I probably lean towards the S25 Ultra though, just because of the flat screen, which I feel is a little better as far as functionality goes versus the slightly curved screen on the S23 Ultra. Of course, now the S25 Ultra is a little more boxy on the edges, a little more curved on the corners though, compared to the S23 Ultra. I also like that they made the S25 Ultra a little bit lighter compared to the S23 Ultra as well. Now, when it comes to battery life, obviously there's going to be a lot of variables, but I ran the same battery drain test on both of these at 100% screen brightness, and the S23 Ultra lasted about 16 hours versus 23 hours for the S25 Ultra. You also have 45 watt fast charging for both phones as well. So really good battery life on both of these. So far I've been getting about 2 full days on the S25 Ultra, so we'll see if that changes over the next couple weeks. As far as software goes, the S23 Ultra is still on Android 14 versus Android 15 on the S25 Ultra. I really like the small software updates on the new One UI 7 for the S25 series, where you can have notifications and the quick settings separate from each other, or you can change it so they're together. You can also turn the volume up and down in the quick settings now. There's still quite a few similarities though, like they both have Samsung DeX. You've got the Edge panel over on the side, Google Discover left of the home screen. For some reason, it looks like they got rid of Samsung News on the S23 Ultra with one of the recent updates. Nice thing is you also have video out on both of these phones as well. If you want to use an HDMI adapter to connect to a projector, TV, or external monitor as well. You can also customize quite a few things on both of these. And then once the S23 Ultra gets the updated One UI 7, they're going to be even closer. And then of course you have the S Pen on both of these. I know some people are upset about not having Bluetooth on the newer version. I don't think that's a deal breaker for me. To me, the software on the S25 Ultra feels a little more polished. It just seems like you can customize things even more than before. Probably one of the best upgrades for the S25 Ultra is you've got 7 years of software updates versus 4 years software, 5 years security on the S23 Ultra. Another big upgrade for the S25 Ultra is going to be the performance with the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor versus the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 in the S23 Ultra. I think both of these are good options for gaming, multitasking, or just about anything else you would need to on a cell phone. I also think the performance on the older S23 Ultra is still pretty good even in 2025, but obviously you'll get better performance and gaming performance on the newer S25 series. As far as speakers go, these two are actually really close. I don't think there's a big enough difference to say there's an advantage going with the S25 Ultra, but it might sound just a tad better overall. Here's a quick sample of each just to see if you can hear a difference. As far as cameras go, you still have a similar setup there on the back with a 200 megapixel main lens on both, 10 megapixel telephoto on both, but then a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto on the S25 Ultra versus only 10 megapixel on the S23. Then you have 12 megapixel ultra wide on the S23 versus 50 megapixel ultra wide on the S25 Ultra. You also have a 12 megapixel wide angle lens on the front for both of these phones. You can shoot up to 8K 30 frames per second for video recording on both phones. The S23 Ultra is definitely one of the better phones that I've used. In fact, I've probably used the S23 Ultra the most for filming YouTube videos over the past couple years. So I was a little concerned about switching to the new Ultra, but after testing them for a while, I think they're pretty comparable. Maybe even slightly better in some cases for the S25 Ultra, but I think they're probably close enough that I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Here's a few quick samples of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. So as you can see, there's definitely some nice upgrades going from the S23 Ultra to the S25, like battery life and performance, but obviously it may come down to what you're looking for. The S23 Ultra is still a good, affordable option and has a lot of life left on it. It might also come down to what phone you currently have to trade in for the S25 Ultra. But if you like phones, tablets, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on, so keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.